Welcome to How to Run Profitable Retreats podcast, the podcast that guides you not to only host retreats that thrive financially, but also transform people's lives. I'm your host, Lainey Cavazos, and each week I bring you the best strategies and personal insights to help you create retreat experiences that transform lives, both your clients and your own. In our journey together, we'll dive into the secrets behind successful retreats, from crafting a unique atmosphere to mastering the logistics that ensure profitability. Whether you're tuning in for inspiring interviews with leading retreat experts or seeking actionable advice in our solo episodes, this podcast is your go-to resource for turning your retreat visions into reality. Don't miss out on any of our episodes and subscribe now. For more tools and a free guide on creating your own six-figure retreat business, visit theretreatplanner.com. Now let's get started and make your retreat dreams come true. And I am so thrilled to actually be able to be talking about profitable retreats. That's one of my biggest passions all the time, besides loyalty marketing. And I want to start by actually sharing a story about the song that we were just hearing. So the song is called Come Alive. No, this is me, sorry. And it's part of the movie The Greatest Showman, right? So when I used to work actually at the corporate space, I used to run events for loyalty clients. And one of the events I actually ran was I did a live scene of The Greatest Showman. Okay, so we had a movie theater, an amazing movie theater that had like lounge area, and then the rooftop actually opened up so you could see the skyline. So it was absolutely
pull down to hold the dishwasher closed so it doesn't turn off.
Let's see who's there. Okay. There we go. I think we're good. Okay. So this live event was one of my biggest passions because I love this movie. Like I've been watching it over and over and over and over and over and over again. And it just like spoke to my heart. It was all about possibilities, the things that could happen. So like, why I don't bring that experience into life? So what I did is actually created this 3-day event where all the loyal customers were invited to come, people with like credit cards, with like Marriott, Bonvoy, and Emirates and whatnot. And I flew in, well, artists, right? Let's call it that, to actually bring live some of the scenes of the movie. So I had an impersonator of Hugh Jackman come into the space and then go through the process of like guiding us from the cocktail reception into the movie theater. And then I had an opera singer singing all the songs. And it was absolutely amazing because people could really feel the experience, like the movie was coming to them, because we had all the circus artists roaming around the different areas. The food was all connected, right? It was all circus food. And it was absolutely amazing. And I've been running events since I'm 15 years old, right? I moved into the space of hosting retreats 4 years ago because I found that retreats were even more powerful than regular events. They changed my life. The first retreat I actually attended was a nightmare. And I told myself I would never go to another retreat. I had to leave that retreat halfway through. I traveled all the way to Nepal. And it was an experience where when I showed up, they told me, oh, there's no women here because we thought you were a man. So I was like there, but like it was a private retreat and it was very awkward, very, very awkward, to the point where I left. And you know what? When I said I'm gonna leave, I got the person like guiding the retreat tell me, well, you're probably not ready for the transformation. So, it's your loss. And I was like, dude, like, no, no, this is wrong. Like, this is not about transformation. It's about me feeling safe in the place where I am at. And I'm not feeling safe. So I'm leaving. It's not about like if you're not ready or you're resilient or whatever. It's about, do you feel safe, right? Later on, a few years later, I actually had the pleasure to start attending other retreats because I got invitations to attend retreats. And I was like, okay, well, I'll give it another shot. And I went to an all women's retreat. And it was completely different. I changed my life in ways I cannot even begin to explain. It allowed me to reconnect with my feminine energy that was very, very lost by living in the Middle East, right? Having to survive in a sea of men, right? When the office was 90% men, 10% women. Do you think like other offices are like the ratio of men and women are different? Go to the Middle East and you will see it is quite different. And as much as I loved my time there, because I did, I do have to recognize that once I came back to my house, I knew I had to change something, because that was not really me being fully me in my whole power. And when I started actually attending retreats, I figured out that there were people who were actually selling out their retreats and making zero profit, right? So have you seen, and I would love to see a raise of hands here or something in the comments. Have you seen people saying out there in the world, I sold out my retreat? Has anyone seen that, like a post somewhere that says, I sold out my retreat in Philippines, or I sold out my retreat in Hawaii? Okay. The reality is that a lot of people who say that they sold out the retreat, that does not mean that they were actually profitable. And I can tell you this from experience, because I've actually interviewed over 100 retreat leaders to figure out what was going on and their profit margins and whatnot. Most of the people, they do retreats and they don't have actually a proper marketing strategy behind it. And when they don't have a proper marketing strategy behind it, what happens is they end up barely profiting. And this is what happened with the first retreat that I attended. I became very close friends with the facilitators, and I asked them, like, so when is the next one? I was so thrilled because it changed my life. And they were like, no, there's not going to be a next one. And I was like, how is that possible? And they just told me, well, because we barely profited. And I'm like, you had 13 people sign up. How is that possible? How is it possible that you got 13 women to say yes to you and you made no money? I just couldn't believe it. So I gave myself the task, because I don't do anything halfway, to go and figure out what was going out in the market. And based on this research is what I'm going to be talking to you about today, the 3 top mistakes when hosting retreats. And the first mistake that everyone will think it's marketing or sales is not. That's not the first mistake. Everyone will think, oh, I don't have a marketing plan. I don't have an ads budget. I don't have this. I don't have that. It's not true. The first top mistake that makes retreats not sell is actually the name of the retreat. Yes. Give me a 1 in the chat if you agree that naming is framing for your products. Yeah, thank you, Christy. Naming is framing. Yeah. Tell me what you think about this retreat name. Rest, reset, and relax in Bali. Who is this for? Tell me, who is this for? Is it for women? Is it for men? Is it for women who are burnout? Is it for corporate women? Is it for people who want a spiritual healing journey? Is it for someone who wants plant medicine? Is that name clear? Rest, reset, and relax in Bali. It tells you where it is, right? But now type a 1 in the chat if you would be interested in finding out more about this retreat, and type a 2 in the chat if you think that actually you might not be very interested in finding out more. Yeah, right. You don't want to, like, why? Because it's not talking about a result. It's not talking about an inspiration. It's not talking about aspiration. It's not talking to you. It's not talking to you. You need to know your ideal client, and you need to make sure that the name of your retreat is highly connected with what you're offering. And it's not about the benefits. It's not about how many stays. It's not about if the house is super luxurious. It's not about if it includes a tour or if you're going to go swimming with dolphins. Honestly, that's not the important piece. It's all about the transformation. It's about what you are as a coach offering to the people who are going to be attending your retreat. It's about who they get to become when they come to your retreat. So then mistake number one, and I want you to now open up your eyes. If you're considering hosting retreats, I want you to open up your eyes on social media and just talk to your phone and tell your phone, please show me some retreats. I want to see retreats. Please show me some people promoting retreats on Instagram, Facebook, whatever. I promise you your phone is gonna like listen to you. And start really observing the names of the retreats out there. And just become the space where if you were an ideal client, does that resonate with you? Would you actually be interested to having a conversation with someone? I'm going to tell you that most of retreat leaders don't know how to name their retreats. They just make it very vague because they think, oh, everyone should be able to come. And they price it in a way where they don't really make a profit because they just want the numbers. They want to tell people, oh, I have a sold out retreat. And I'm here to call bullshit on that. A sold out retreat does not equal a profitable retreat. Who's with me here? Type a yes in the chat. A sold out retreat does not equal a profitable retreat. Yeah. It can be, but it does not, it's not 1 + 1 = 2 in this space. Yeah. And this takes us to mistake number 2. Mistake number 2 is actually the pricing of your retreat. Yeah, the pricing of your retreat. It's not about the sales. Sales comes later. If you do not price for success, your retreat is not going to sell. So I ran one of the interviews I ran. It was for a retreat happening somewhere in Latin America. So I was like, okay, so how many spots do you have left to sell? 1 spot. And I'm like, okay, so amazing. That's great. So you have 12 women already signed up for your retreat. That should be like something for great news, right? Like people should be super excited about it. And I was like, okay, so next question. At which point did you break even? And she was like, what? What do you mean? Like, I'm like, yeah. Like you have 12 people, you have a capacity for 13. You should have broken even a while ago. And she was like, no, I broke even at the 12. So I was like, okay, so you're telling me that your profit is your last ticket that you haven't sold. I was like, okay, this is not right. Why? Very simple. This woman has spent months selling this retreat to 12 women, having conversations, answering questions, posting on social media, whatever it is that was a marketing strategy. And she was basically working for everyone else. She was working for the airline for the flight ticket for her to take from Canada all the way to Latin America. She was working for the retreat venue. She was working for the catering company. She was working for the other facilitators that were coming into the space. She was working for the tour agency. Does that make sense as a business owner? No. It doesn't, right? Why would you be working for everyone else but yourself? It makes absolutely no sense. So I invite you to really think it through. And it comes to not just for retreats, but for anything in your business. Are you really considering the cost and the expenses of your business? And then putting a profit that really makes a lot of sense. I would go even to the space to say, if you're not profiting at least 50% from your cost, you're doing something wrong. At least 50%. Why? Because we tend to forget to budget for a certain couple of things. Namely, we don't charge for our time facilitating the retreat. This is one of the biggest things that people don't actually put in their budgets. Think about it. If you go for a retreat in 1 week, right? How much money are you actually leaving on the table from other potential clients? From selling your group programs, from actually like doing one-on-one sessions, memberships, whatnot. If you go on like a retreat and you have to hire someone to come and become an expert on your space, it's actually costing you money. So it's very important that we actually budget for the time, not just a promotional piece that's part of your business, but the time where you are actually facilitating the retreat itself. So if you're not charging that, and I would say even double that, is it actually worth your time to go and facilitate a retreat? Yeah. Right. And I believe also that sometimes it's hard when we're thinking about our pricing and we cannot really see tangible results that we can actually think we can offer people. And I'm here again to say bullshit to that. So many times we think, oh, only the retreats who are all about money, you can tell that you're going to get your money 10 times back. And it's not true. If you build a retreat for people to avoid divorce, you can actually quantify the money that they will save, but not by not getting a divorce. So you can put numbers there, right? There's data behind it. But you can also find all the data around how much does your mental well-being improves when you're not having a strained relationship with your husband, or what happens with the mental health of your kids. So you can actually find data to support this transformational journey. So data, numbers, and facts, and really, really tangible benefits are not just for the wealth retreats, the money retreats. Yeah. So really think about it.
One thing to that. Can I say something to that?
Yeah, please.
When it comes to certain solutions, it doesn't have to be tied to money. If you can save somebody's relationship, think about women. What's the most important thing to a woman? She will pay far more for that retreat that's going to save her marriage than she will to make $100,000.
Yeah. 100%. So pricing is mistake number 2. Yeah. Pricing is mistake number 2. Now, mistake number 3, you probably are wondering, oh yes, for sure. Now she's going to be talking about sales and marketing. And yes, mistake number 3 is sales and marketing, not having a proper strategy. And I'm going to be talking today about one specific point that like 90% of retreat leaders miss. It's called outbound marketing. What does that mean? It means you're actually reaching out to the people who showed a little bit of interest. And I'm not just talking about commenting back into someone's comment on your Facebook post. No. That's engagement. That's not outbound marketing. Outbound marketing means if you send an email to your newsletter and you track the clicks, everyone who clicked but did not book a call with you, you're going to go and send them a message and say, hey, I saw you were interested. Would you like to have a call? Yeah, that's an outbound marketing. It's not just about inbound marketing. Inbound marketing is you put a poster, people reply, it's coming inbound. Outbound is you taking the effort to reaching out to people. It's about thinking about your clients who are already your clients, who could come, sending them personal messages and not expecting them to figure it out on their own that you're hosting a retreat. It means going out there and telling people, hey, if you have a client who you could refer me to that could really benefit from these retreats, please send them my way. Outbound marketing. Yeah. So let's just do a quick recap on the main top 3 mistakes when hosting retreats. Number 1, the name. Why the name? We have a 9-second attention span. Goldfish have attention span of 12 seconds. So you have 7 seconds to grab the attention of the person before their phone rings, they get distracted by anything else. Yeah. So, number 1, naming is framing. Making sure the name of your retreat is very, very clear and it talks to your ideal client so they know, oh, this is for me. And then it's supported by the rest of the copy of the website. Number 2, pricing. Making sure that you're really putting the expenses and the cost and making sure you are running a profitable business where your break even does not make you sweat because you need to get 10 people to actually start making money. You want to build a business where you have the flexibility to even change the venue where you're hosting your retreats in case you don't have that many people. So you're still profiting. See, this is a very, very important tip. I've had retreats that have not sold out. What I've done is I changed the venue for the size of the group that is coming. It's a little bit more intimate. It makes sense, right? I upsold private rooms. And the then what happens is people are happy. They're enjoying what they're getting. Of course, it all comes with terms and conditions and whatnot, right? But making sure that you have a flexible business plan. A lot of people start their retreats and they're like, oh my gosh, I want to have 25 people sign up for my first retreat. And I'm like, that feels very stressful to me. Type a yes in the chat if like getting 25 people to sign up for your retreat feels stressful. Yes. So you want to really think about that. What number does it really feel very aligned with you? Like you can hold space for them, you can nurture them, you can not get exhausted. How many people would you like to have in your retreat? 10 to 12 max. Awesome. Teresa has been doing retreats for a while, so that's perfect. All right, so really think about that number for yourself when you're considering hosting retreats. And then number 3, the marketing and sales strategy. You need to have more leads to be able to convert your retreat. The average conversion rate for people attending retreats is 10%. It depends on the person who's hosting it, the size of their audience, how engaged it is. So it's not like science just like that, yeah? But in reality, if you want to have 10 people, you might need to have 100 people engaged with your retreat, yeah? So really think about that. And then just think about outbound marketing. All right. Thank you so much for this. I'll drop the chat if you want to have a call with me to discover if retreats is the right step for you or how you can up level your profit game in the space. Thank you so much. Wow, what a great episode. If you like our podcast, How to Run Profitable Retreats, leave us a review and share it with a friend.